Hey, how you guys doing today? This is SUAVE, and I'm your host, Bolu, and this is
Mr. Mike.
Mr. Mike. All right, Mr. Mike. What are we gonna be talking about today?
I thought you were going to choose the topic. Would you like to talk about?
We have such a large variety of topic selections today, but I'm gonna say that we should talk about the importance of self-preservation, of like putting yourself first, even though people might see it as something selfish.
I think you should always put yourself first. You can't help anybody if you're not straight. So you have to make sure you look out for yourself, and that covers every aspect of your life. That covers your finance. It covers your health. More importantly, it covers your state of mind, your sense of empathy, and sympathy.
I'm not too inclined verbally, so I don't really know the difference between sympathy and empathy. So what would that be?
I'm not sure if I know the correct definition to explain the difference. There is a difference, but I know empathy is when you can feel someone else's pain, and sympathy is when you definitely feel someone else's pain and you sympathize with them. You kind of understand that there's something there, and that you could probably make a difference if you just learn how to comfort people and sometimes set yourself aside to help somebody that's definitely in need, dire need, especially if they reach the point of despair.
Despair? Is that intense pain and suffering?
That's like when you get to the point where you think you're going to give up, or you're thinking about giving up. When you think there's no hope, when you fail to see the goodness or the outcome, or you don't believe that the outcome's going to be good. So sometimes you have to help people through that.
I agree a lot with that, and I wanted to touch a little bit deeper on what you said about people being in despair, or thinking that they've hit rock bottom. In my personal experience and my personal experience of other people's situations in life, when people get into such a dark place that there's only two ways left, either you go upwards towards the light, or you stay in the darkness that you're already in. And it's that breaking point either makes or actually breaks you. That thing that pushes people to the point where they feel like they've lost everything is also the point where if they come back from that, then nothing else can break them down in life,
That makes sense. I think what it is, personally, I think sometimes people don't see that people don't realize that everything's temporary. As a good example, I was taught in a class, we had asked a question, and the question was, have you ever been to a bridge you didn't get across? Now, mind you, that's a metaphor, bridge, for a problem. So have you came across a problem that you didn't get through, or a situation? And the thing is, you always get through. Sometimes you don't get through when you want to, or it's not soon enough for you, but there's a release point where you do get through, where the darkest, you land in the light. Yeah. You actually come out, better than you were before. You come out stronger. And sometimes you can go through something and you come out on the other side and don't even realize that you actually came out, that the problem disappeared on its own. Nothing lasts forever. Only thing that lasts forever, the only thing that's permanent is change. And so sooner or later the storm is over.
And it's gonna get better for sure. I really appreciate that. Another thing I wanted to talk about was, in the sense of empathy, it's how much of yourself do you give to other people. So it's how you would say, when I'm good, I would make sure you're good. I like that there was a saying that you had a couple weeks ago that I heard from you, is, I'll take care of me for me, and you should take care of you for you. And that's the best way for people to and I agree with that a lot.
Actually, it's really funny that you said that. I remember me and a friend of mine when I was a younger age, and we had no business being in this bar, where neither one of us was 21, but we had fake ID. We're in the bar, and we're talking, and people are telling us their problems when we're coming to celebrate. We're just happy that we're here, and and we're 19, so the world is free, and we have no problems. And people kept telling us what was going on with them. And a friend of mine, she quoted that I have problems and you have problems and the world has problems. You fix your problems and I'll fix mine, and then we'll go after the world. But until you get your problems together, you can't help the world. And that's kind of true. You have to clean your house. Your house has to be clean before you sweep somebody else's steps.
Because I feel like me personally, I've been in a situation in my life where I went out to clean somebody else's steps before mine were clean. And that was out of a sense of, I would say it's a sense of, not even like insecurity, but more so like needing somebody else for validation, or like this person, me helping somebody else is gonna make them see me in a positive light, and I'm gonna feel better about myself. And it's like a lack of self-worth, I would say. You not knowing that me taking care of myself will make me be appealing to other people because of how good I take care of myself, so they would want to learn how they could take care of themselves in such a manner, and it's kind of like that same, I'll take care of my problems first and then we can take care of and you take care of yours, because if I'm done with mine and you have problems, I can't be with you when you're going through your problems, because you're gonna affect me and give me more problems. And it's like, that's not out of hatred or personal like disdain for, I don't want to help people, I'm selfish, but it's just like I know how people's problems can impact like my mental state, or like in general. Do you ever feel like somebody is like in the bar when you went there to enjoy yourself and people put their problems on you, did it like affect how you went throughout your day? You're like, oh, some people could be having a good experience in the same place, and somebody has like is on the opposite side of the spectrum in the exact same place with you.
I kind of understand it. I look at it as self-preservation is the first law of survival. So you have to take care of yourself, nurture yourself, and do everything you can for you. If there's something left over, then you can share it. You have to make yourself the priority, and that's not being selfish. Actually, if you make yourself the priority and you become happy and content with what you have and what you're doing, and then it doesn't hurt at all to lend somebody else a helping hand, because you have more than enough. Your bucket is running over, and instead of wasting it on the floor, share it with someone else. You're not taking everything with you, and that doesn't have to be money or material things. Your most valuable thing that you can give to anybody is your time, and the second thing is give them your concern, genuine concern, not just lip service. So you have to be real with people, but you have to be more real with yourself before you can be real with anybody. You need to know who you are. You need to know your needs are met. And sometimes you're the only one who is supplying your needs. And most of the time you are, because it's your needs. And other people want theirs, and some people would like you to supply their needs, which is not your job. That is not your job. You take care of your needs first in your household. Charity begins at home.
Exactly. I feel like sometimes people get an undeserved sense of entitlement to what you give them. And so like when you give somebody a piece of yourself and then you see that they abuse you or they act out of order, and you take that piece of yourself away, and now they don't have that piece of yourself that you gave them, and they feel like, oh, you hurt me because you took yourself, like, you held back because I was not in the right state of mind, or I just wasn't doing the things that you liked, and you withdraw yourself. And why did you do that? And it's hurting them. But it's like, the reason it's hurting them is because they mistreated the opportunity that was given. And then they saw it as like, oh, it was free, so I can't lose it. It was free. It was a free opportunity, but then you mishandled a free gift and then you lose it, What do you think about that?
I think some people don't cherish things that are given to them. In a sense, you value things more when you work for it. When you put blood, sweat, and tears into anything that you have, your time, your education, your finance, even your pleasure, when you value that and you put everything you have into it, but if you give it to somebody, they don't enjoy it as much, or they don't value it as much because they did nothing to earn it. So I remember I put up a quote, and it said, I had to repo our friendship because of lack of loyalty. And so it's like a give and take situation. Reciprocity should always be given.
Yeah. And I remember there was another quote, beautiful quotes that you always have, that if respect isn't being served at the table, then you need to find a new table to eat at.
And that's true. That's true. You have to have people, if you value somebody, you want it to be almost even as far as what you're giving, you need to receive. And like I said, it's just a matter of, self-respect. It's a matter of survival. You have to give what you receive, and if you're giving and not receiving, you're watering a dead plant. Some people just don't have it in them to give. Some people are just selfish, and you just have to recognize people for who they are. If you find out who somebody is, you put them where they belong, and some people don't belong in your life.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful. I was actually about giving to receive. I had a little topic about that. So I feel like there's a difference between being a giving person and receiving things, and giving somebody something to receive something, because I've had some friends in my life that they would give you or do little favors here and there for you with the end goal of taking something more precious from you. And it could be your time, it could be your resources, and it could be like somebody gave you a loaf of bread and they're like, later on they see you with like a drink, and they're like, oh, I gave you a loaf of bread that time, you never did anything for me, I'm such a good person, and you're not, so you should probably just give me a drink right now just to make up for what I did for you. And it was like, at that time, the person, like how they gave you that item was like, oh, I think you should have this, man, it looks nice on you or something. And then they expect something in return for that. So like, be careful of the things you receive from other people as well, because not every gift is a gift. It could just be a upfront payment for something they're going to try and take from you later,
Yeah, well, you have to remember, if you give somebody something, you're supposed to give from the heart. And if you
expect it back, right?
Yes, so if you receive something from somebody and they remind you that they gave it to you, that's the one person that needs to leave your life. That's the one person you need to say goodbye in a nice way, leave them in silence. They know what they did. You want to try to have an even thing where people treat you the way you treat them, or treat you the way they would like to be treated. And some people will not respect you, but you shouldn't worry about how other people are. It's about how you are. You falling in love with yourself, you respecting yourself, you accepting what you want to accept and rejecting what you don't want. It's like, just like I can receive, I can say no thank you. You have to be careful on who you accept gifts from. Yeah.
That's so true. I actually, funny enough, remember the TikTok video that I had seen the other day, and I don't even watch TikTok, funny enough. But then like this one day I was posting some content on TikTok, and then I had seen this video talking about how this guy was passing by on the streets in like a foreign country, right? I think it was the Dominican Republic or an African country. And then he was talking to one of the like passers-by on the road that would be like selling items that they would craft with their hands. And so this man was crafting some things out of wood, like chess pieces. He was crafting out of wood, and like fine, like they looked exactly like manufacturer standard quality. He would polish them and shine them, and they would look so intricately woven, and they would be like pricey, And this guy was telling him like, "You're doing a wonderful, amazing job. You're a good person." Like, and then he was like, "Thank you." And then the guy was almost offended, like, "Oh, I don't think you heard what I said. Like, you're amazing." He said, "Thank you." Like he almost thought that the person didn't speak English, right? And then the person later responded like, "I speak perfect English. I just know that if I accept this compliment from you, then I also have to accept whatever else you tell me. So if you tell me I'm bad, do I now accept that one?" Instead of just saying, so by him saying thank you, he appreciated the statement, but he didn't accept or reject it. He just accepted that somebody said something, and he didn't take it like, oh, this person said I'm good, so that means I'm good. It's about what he believes in himself, And like, so if he accepted something from somebody else, he could accept other people's belief systems, like by accident, just by not paying attention to what you accept and reject or allow in your mind space. What do you think about that?
That's a lot to swallow. I really don't know how to confront that straightforward, but I can also say that I remember one of the quotes I had that kind of relates to that. And everybody is not going to feel the way you feel about certain things, and everybody doesn't understand the way you understand things. So sometimes you just have to like take it on the cuff and just flow with it. Sometimes you just don't have an answer. You can't please everybody, and people should have enough sense to know that you can't, and that they're not going to be. Certain things is just not going to be accepted. It's kind of hard to address that.
Yeah, I completely understand. It makes sense, That's why, like, you should always treat people teach people how you want people to treat you. What do you think about that? That in itself is a whole topic of discussion about teaching people how you want them to treat you.
That's true, because when people will treat you, when the way people treat you is what you accept, and what you don't accept, you need to let people know, or you just walk away. When people tell you who they are, you need to listen. They might not come out and tell you I'm a bad person, but when they tell you who they are, just by looking and observing the way they treat you, the way they treat others, the way they carry themselves, you have to believe that this is who they really are. Sooner or later, everybody shows their self. Some people are right away, and some people it takes time. But once you find out who somebody is, like I said, you put them in their place and you leave them there. As far as putting them in their place is, some people belong in your living room, and some people belong in the street. You know, so everybody doesn't belong in your space.
That's complete. Yeah. You know, it's kind of crazy because I recently just like had a scenario where, you know, I had invited somebody over, and then I had gone to take a shower, and then like when I came back into my room, I had some, like, I didn't even notice until a couple of days later that like something that was very important to me was like stolen. And like this person I invited was like not even like a bad friend of mine, it was a good friend of mine. And it's like, I feel like it's happened to me like at least twice now, on 2 different occasions with 2 different people. And it's like, I literally, like, whenever I had turned my back to somebody, they would like literally like do something, and then they would lie about it after. And it's like the lies, like people are so good at wearing masks nowadays that it's like very hard to know what to believe. So like you guys need to really like go look out for wisdom and discernment and how to like choose the type of people you let into your space and to keep around you. Because like like minds think alike, you know. And my dad always used to tell me this: if it walks like a duck, it looks like a duck, and it quacks like a duck, it's probably a duck, you know. So you shouldn't try to make a duck a dog, or like paint a picture that, like, if somebody paints you a picture, don't let them paint you another picture. I think that was what Kevin Gates said. It was a beautiful thing that he said.
That reminds me of when I just said, when people show you who they are, believe them. A lot of times it will take them time. Remember, salt and sugar looks the same. Remember, the devil was once an angel. So some people, it takes them a while to show their true colors. But the good thing is, once you see the true colors, then you decide how you want to deal with this. Yeah, or some people have to be dismissed. Some people just have to be dismissed. It's not enough room in your life for a lot of people. The more people in your life takes up too much of your time. And you should never take time away from yourself to please anyone, unless it's a blood family member or a true soulmate. But until that happens, you have to treat people accordingly, but never cheat yourself. People will take and take and take. They'll drain you dry. So you can't let that happen. You have to keep the well filled within yourself.
Because you're taking care of other people as well. And if you let one person like drain you dry, then you're not going to have anything left for the rest of the world. And remember, we're solving our problems, and then we're going to solve other people's problems too. We're not forgetting about anybody, you know. The world is next on the list. We just need to take care of us first. So remember, guys, take care of you for others, and others should take care of themselves for you. Don't expect anything from anybody, because nobody owes you anything, no matter how much good you've done for them. If they return it to you, that's by them deciding to be good. It's not something that you're entitled to. If you give, it's just know that it's gone. You're not getting it back. And if you get it back, count yourself lucky, you know?
Yes. Yeah. Never lend what you can't afford to give away. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so that's a good life lesson. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I totally agree with everything you just said.
I think that was a beautiful episode. How many minutes do you think that was on the clock?
I have no idea.
That was a beautiful episode. About 10 minutes. That's 10 minutes worth of content and game for the rest of your life. You know, you should always take the advice that you get from other people, because you never know what that person has been through in life and how that could help you later on, because you don't know where you're going. You know, always everything is a positive experience, like I said before, and everything that happens to you for a reason. And if it's not a lesson, it's a blessing, and every lesson is a blessing. So you can't even lose in life if you wanted to. Like, it's orchestrated so you can't lose, you know?
I totally agree. You're right. You can't lose, because we had a quote up, and it says, when I'm good, And when things go wrong, they seem to work out. So even when I'm not good, I'm good because things will work out for my favor or your favor. Things do work out. Never give up hope. That's the one thing that does last.
Hope will never leave you disappointed. I've learned that from experience. Would you say so?
Definitely. I definitely agree with that. You know, when you believe in a higher power and you have something to strive for, it always seems to work. You always find a way. You know, where there's a will, there's a way. Just don't lose the will.
Because if you have the will, then there's always a way. Thank you guys for coming. This is SUAVE, episode 4, you know, and we hope to see you guys in the future, give you a bunch more game. You know, thanks.